Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10. We've made it to 10 episodes here for the Waters Runs Deep podcast. We're just, a family having fun with random conspiracies and stuff like that. And I think tonight Chris is presenting Hollow Earth. So buckle up and get ready for this.
Oh, yes.
Amanda, you got our Florida man story?
I do. And this one, I found it and thought it was a perfect one to welcome in summer and a little fun. So, the title of our Florida man story: Unmarked BSO boat used for family fun, but who paid for it? Allegedly, for years, with permission from a superior, a Broward County Sheriff's deputy has been helping himself to a taxpayer-bought Sheriff's Department boat that he used for his own personal use.
Wow.
Yep.
So he was like taking it out, going fishing, taking family out for a nice pulling tubes behind it and shit like that.
Hopefully he wasn't drinking on the boat.
I know.
And all that stuff. I mean, could you imagine?
Oh man.
But he was.
And he had supervisor approval.
So there are folks. So folks have said that he used the 23-foot Intrepid boat for his own entertainment. One witness even told the news that their daughter and many other girls from her class had gone on the boat with the family for years. They always assumed it was a family boat, that they would go drinking, they would have fun, they would post things on social media. Everything was very public. It wasn't like, oh, hush, hush, that we're using the Sheriff's Department boat. There are allegations that alcohol was on board. There are multiple emails and pictures that were sent to the sheriff's office with claims that this has been going on for years. And yeah.
That's unreal. I mean, that's like the nerve, the gall, you know what I mean? To take this boat out and post pictures on social media and what have you. And then on top of that, you're a deputy and you're drinking on a tax. Oh my gosh.
And there's also pictures of showing fishing equipment and all that stuff.
That is great. See, but the thing is, I mean, I'm putting myself in his shoes and like, here's a perfect example. So right now I'm working at this place that makes sealer for asphalt. It's like a part-time gig. Well, I'm full-time right now given my current job, but it's a part-time gig. It's not going to be forever. It's just a stepping stone to get me by for now. But anyway, so I had to put in a new fence at home because the fence was just rotted away, and thought I had all the tools, but I didn't. The tool that I need to get a sawzall to cut off a piece of the wood, because when the fence shuts, it kind of catches a little bit. So I just want a sawzall just to zip it off real quick. Anyway, I haven't done it yet, but I intend on asking my boss, say, hey, can I borrow the sawzall? I'll take it home and then I'll bring it back the next day. Guarantee it'll not be a problem. However, it's a similar principle that if I ask him to use the saw and take it home, and then somebody's like, hey, what happened to the sawzall or whatever, then, I get in trouble. It's kind of the same thing. I got permission. He said I could do it, but, is it really okay? It's company property,
I mean,
it's not the boss's property. It's the company's property. So am I asking the right person for permission?
Well, I mean, and I understand the premise. The premise is right, but I don't think that you could potentially harm many people with a sawzall. You know what I mean? As much as you could with a 20. Well, I mean, you could, but you got a 24-foot Intrepid boat, that they're drinking on, fishing on, or what have you. And I'm not saying the guy's excessively drinking or what have you, but get out there and have an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Just one little accident, and the sheriff is liable. I mean, not only can they come to you personally, but they can turn around and sue the office for neglect and liability. The negligence that's involved in that. That's just brazen. I mean,
I hope the superior that gave him permission's getting hemmed up too for this though. I mean, I think if the guy really did give him permission, I think he
well,
should
Well,
get
and
jammed up too.
I think that's probably where it's going to come down
oh,
to is, he's going to go, well, I had permission, and then the supervisor's going to go, well, I never said that.
And if it's not in writing,
Right? Yeah, it's all hearsay at that point.
so do you all want the good news or the bad news?
Well, give it
it's all
us
news to
hard.
me.
Well, the good news is there's no good news, only bad news. So, after an internal affair investigation was open, according to the report obtained by the news, the sergeant who was given the permission admitted to giving the deputy permission to use the boat for personal and recreation while the deputy was off duty. And that happened. And then all this, of course, happened after permission was asked. But neither of them were actually given any type of reprimand. They were just reprimanded verbally and basically a slap on the wrist.
Well, again, that's because nothing happened.
Yep.
And,
Wow.
I kind of applaud the supervisor for standing up to his word and saying, you know what, I did do that, and not leaving his people out to hang.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because nowadays, because people are always trying to strive to the top, that's far and few between, unfortunately. So good attaboy for him for standing by his.
Yeah.
Speaking of this temporary job that I'm doing, I when I get off, I don't even go I change my clothes and then when I get in my car that has 7,000 miles on it and drive home with dust, clay dust,
Oh my gosh,
and
yeah.
lime dust and asphalt sealer and everything else and get it on my car, So I, throw sweatpants on, change my shirt and change my shoes and then get in the car and go.
I can't shower or like wash your face before you leave.
It doesn't come off.
Oh.
Like it comes off, but like you have to like get under hot water
Oh.
and and there's no
Are you,
showers
putting
there.
your
They have
face
good
into
soap.
it?
No, it's just like it's in it's everywhere. It's just on everything. And it's not so much the asphalt sealer, it's just the stuff that they use to make the asphalt sealer that it goes everywhere,
Oh.
Well,
That's
is Gojo something that would help? I mean, maybe take a shower with Gojo?
I feel like it. They actually have this stuff that it's not Gojo. It's like Gojo, but it looks terrible. It looks like maple syrup and dog crap mixed together with some almond shells mixed or walnut shells mixed in. So instead of sand, they put walnut shells, like crushed walnut shells in there.
That'll definitely exfoliate some skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works really well. It works way better than a Gojo, but it looks and smells terrible, and it leaves your skin like Gojo seems to me at least, like it dries your skin out a little bit. And
I felt like it's always made my skin, smoother. Hey, Gojo,
Really?
shameless plug.
yeah,
I
right.
don't even know.
Yeah,
what
we'd
this
love to
is.
sponsor. It's the orange soap. It smells like orange and it's got like sand in it.
I'm a lady. I use Bath and Body Works.
Oh.
Bath and Body Works.
If you get
please
under a
also
car
sponsor
and
us.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
have to go shopping at Home Depot for your Gojo.
yeah,
Hey, Home Depot, there you go.
Oh my
Home
God.
yeah, Home Depot.
Speaking about Home Depot, I lost your Aunt Margaret at Home Depot. So we went there to get flowers and she got a cart. And halfway through, she's like, this cart is really slow. I think it's running out of juice. And
Say
I was
what?
like, okay. And I was like, what do you want me to do? I can't push you in the cart. Like push you in the motor cart, not like a cart.
Yeah.
Was she in a like a
Yeah,
sit down
yeah.
cart thing?
Yeah.
She
Sorry,
said?
sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. So
You said ran out of juice and she was pushing a cart. I'm thinking she's like in a
No.
regular old shopping cart thinking it needs to be plugged in. I'm like,
Chris, your Aunt Margaret in a freaking shopping cart. Come on.
well, not in it, but
As
pushing.
hilarious as that would be like, Amanda, if that ever happens and I don't get a picture from you, I swear you're unfamily. That's all it is.
I'm thinking she's like pushing a regular shopping cart and saying, man, this thing's pushing really slow. I think it needs to be charged. I'm like,
I mean, that could probably be a possibility too.
Anyway,
Oh, my
no, she was
goodness.
in like a wheelchair cart thing.
Oh, okay.
And she said it was running out of juice. And so she's weaving in and out of these aisles. I don't know what the fuck she's looking for. So eventually I have everything that I need. So I thought, well, I'll keep an eye on her, but I'm going to go check out because it was kind of busy. And I look back and she's gone. And I was like,
Ghosted
where
you.
did she go? So I'm looking for her. I'm walking down up and down every aisle. And this lady stops me and she's like, you look lost. What are you looking for? And I said, well, I'm looking for something very specific. And she was like, okay. I said, I'm looking for an old lady riding a cart, about 70 years old in a month, has
Oh my
9
God.
toes, and one of her eyes she can't see out of because she hadn't had her cataracts in that eye yet. And the lady started laughing. I said, I'm looking for my mom. I don't know where she is. So she's like, well, I said, you can't miss her. She's like the only person riding a cart here. So I call her. I have the dog with me. The dog is like so pissed I'm making her walk up and down each aisle. So finally I get her and I'm like, where the hell are you? And she's like, I had to use the potty. And I was like, you didn't think to ask me? No, we're not done yet, by the way. Like 40 minutes more of up and down every aisle because she was looking for something.
Oh, that's one thing about Aunt Margaret. Love her to death. But she has to go down every single aisle.
Like,
of
I'm
the
not
store.
talking about
Yes,
like
she does.
every aisle in the sense of like, oh, we might need something down. Like, we went down the aisle that just has the long pieces of wood.
Oh, you went down
Like,
the
we
lumber
don't
section.
need that. I don't need any lumber. I don't even have a thing to cut the
Yep,
lumber.
She's got to see everything, and if she doesn't, she's not happy leaving the store.
I was so annoyed.
They cut the lumber for you.
Don't
They'll
tell
cut it
her
for
that,
you.
Chris, because the next time we're going to go up and down every aisle.
You should have pulled what Uncle Charlie would have pulled and had them page overhead for.
Oh my God, I thought about it. I'm shocked I didn't do
And
that.
come up with a good name too.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know how she ghosted me so quick because I swear I saw her and I was like, okay, she was riding in reverse for a while and I couldn't figure out what she was doing, but at least I could see her. And then all of a sudden she was gone. And I was like,
Yeah, what you need to do is 9-toed Margaret 9 toes to the customer service. Margaret 9 toes.
Margaret 9 toes.
Oh my
But the point of my
God.
story is I walked down every single aisle and I didn't see no Hojo.
Gojo?
Well,
You're looking for the
first
wrong
off,
thing.
it's not Hojo, and that's I mean, there's streets you look for that on.
Is that the Howard Johnson?
Yep. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh,
Hojo,
yeah.
Howard Johnson, yeah.
Sorry, Howard Johnson. I didn't mean to put your
I
name
don't
out
think
there.
they're even
Are they
around
still
anymore.
around? That's a shame if they're not.
I'm gonna look.
That's great. That is great. All right. Well, let's get into it. We will jump into the Hollow Earth. So for the most part, my research is going to be coming from Wikipedia and the intranets, of course. The freshtoast.com is another one I'm going to be pulling from, as well as I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'm gonna try. It's Anomalian. It's ANOMALIEN. So it's like alien. I guess it means anonymous alien, maybe.
That kind of fits our podcast.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Of course, if you use DuckDuckGo, another shameless plug, they will give you stuff that if you type in Google, it won't give you. In the conspiracy side of things, a lot of times when you put stuff in Google's, it comes up as stuff against the theory, and not that I don't want to see that as well, because I want to see both sides of said conspiracy theory, but I'd also want to see the stuff that is pushing for the conspiracy theory, and Google tends to not completely want to give you that. So yeah, if I add any more during the episode, I will definitely plug those links as well. All right, so Hollow Earth. So just a brief definition of what Hollow Earth exactly is. So Hollow Earth is a concept proposing that the planet Earth is entirely hollow or contains a substantial interior space. It was notably suggested by Edmund Halley in the late 17th century, The notation was disproven first tentatively by Pierre Bouguer, probably butchered his name, in 1740, and then definitively by Charles Hutton in the Schehallien experiment around 1774. And see, I kind of upset that they say it was definitively disproven because the Schehallien, and if I'm butchering this, I apologize, but I'm saying it how it looks. So this is an experiment in the 18th century to determine the mean density of the Earth. So to basically see how dense the Earth actually is. It was funded by a grant by the Royal Society and was conducted in the summer of 1774 around the Scottish mountain of Schehallien, Perthshire. The experiment involved measuring the tiny. Oh, I apologize. Where to go? Experiment involved measuring the tiny deflection of the vertical due to the gravitational attraction of a nearby mountain. So basically, sorry.
So is that how they disproved it, by measuring the gravitational traction of a mountain?
Yeah, I kind of know somewhat about this, but it was pretty much they kind of like I'm trying to remember how they did it, but basically they were like making like pounding. They were basically like making their own seismic waves through the mountain to basically judge how dense the Earth is. So the thing I like about this, it wasn't like they did the experiment where it went from, say, Scotland to whatever's on the opposite side of the Earth from Scotland to measure the density. I think they were only measuring, so far down, and they're not saying that 10 feet under or a mile under our feet that it's hollow from there. I mean, there's a pretty substantial Earth until it becomes hollow. So to say that definitively disproved it, I kind of disagree with.
Well, yeah,
I think
mean,
there's
depending, like you said, if you're going to do something like that, it's kind of like if you're looking for a stud in a wall, you bang until you hear like a thud, if you will.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
would think you would look for it on the other side of the earth. Hey, I got a hammer banging over here. Can you hear it on that side?
right, right. I mean, the current deepest hole in Earth, I believe, is in Russia, and I'm double checking myself. But the deepest hole in Earth from the ground is Kola super deep borehole in in Russia. It says the Soviet engineering project that occurred from the 60s to the 1990s is the deepest artificially created hole on Earth. Some of the rocks they drilled through contain ancient fossil known as plankton. So they found some wicked fossils when they bored through the hole. The hole itself, so it's 9 inches in diameter. So it's only 9 inches around, and it's 40,230 feet deep.
Holy crap!
Yeah. So that's pretty deep. I don't know how many. So let's figure that out. Let me do some quick math real quick, and we'll figure out 40,238 feet.
That's higher than
miles.
the usual jet plane flies.
So it's about a little over, almost we'll say 7.5 miles. We'll just round down. It's really 7.62 miles is how deep that hole is. So I'd say that's a pretty deep hole.
Smokes. Yeah, that's down there.
And granted, it's only 9 inches in diameter, so it's not a very big hole. So you probably, nobody can go down it, obviously, but it's pretty deep. So, and that could be at that point. And there's some things about that there were some weird things that were happening when they were digging, drilling down through the hole. And I think they got to a point where they couldn't go any further. So that makes me think, maybe there's some kind of layer there that's preventing them to go any further because it's, like a protection or something for the inner Earth,
Yeah, yeah. Either way you go, I mean, even if it's like a magma center, like we're taught to believe, there's the center of our Earth is a hot molten core. I would think there would be like molten rock that would probably stop that drill bit or something like that at that point.
Right. Right. And there's several people or several groups of people rather, that believe in the hollow earth theory. And a few of them are the ancient Greeks thought the earth was hollow, the Tibetan Buddhists and Christians, as well as the Nazis. Not that we really care what the Nazis thought about anything, but they were also a believer. It's kind of interesting that the Buddhists, the Tibetan Buddhists and ancient Greeks and Nazis have something in common, but that was one of them. They believed the earth was hollow.
So,
And go ahead.
so what we're saying is there is no molten lava core.
Right. And that's never been proven. Nobody's been able to definitively prove that the core of the earth is molten lava.
So where does the volcano goo come from?
It comes from, and I'll just show you, and we'll definitely put this on your social media.
Is it not called volcano goo, Dave?
Did we have to really call it goo? I mean,
for some reason, the word lava didn't come to my head.
This just went straight to a PG-13 podcast.
Goo.
All right, so let's see. I'm going to show you what kind of the layout of what most people think. All these different cultures that do believe that the earth is hollow have different depictions, but this one kind of describes it the best. Like, kind of similar all the way around. They kind of it's resembles a similar thing. So that's what they kind of believe how it looks. So it's about 1,500 miles of under our feet. And then it becomes like hollow inside. They have their own sun in the center. So that could be, that thing, could be that it's not molten magma that's in there. It's the sun that's causing the heat from the inside out.
It's called, I think the sun's called swang.
Yeah, this is from Atvetbar from William Bradshaw's 1892 science fiction novel, The Goddess of Atvetbar. So that must be something to do with the story or something that they call it that. But it's just kind of the depiction. And most, I'd venture to say all believe that the entrance to get into the hollow earth is in the South Pole by Antarctica, and then some believe the North Pole as well, but definitely the South Pole, and it leads into the whole mystery behind Antarctica that we briefly talked about when we were doing the Flat Earth episode.
So where does King Kong live?
Yes, and those that we talked about this, I believe, briefly on our Flat Earth episode, but those that have seen the 2019 Godzilla vs. King Kong movie talked, I think 90% of the movie was about the earth being hollow. And they kind of nailed it. They were pretty on point of the main theory of the people that believe the earth is hollow, of how they, what they think, how it works. Not necessarily that Godzilla and King Kong come from there or whatever, but the concept that it's in the Antarctica. There's an entrance down there to get into the the hollow earth. And that's why I believe that Antarctica is so restricted, is because the entrance is down there. I mean, you can't fly over Antarctica. You have to have like special permission to go to Antarctica. I think at some point down there, you get to a point where there's a hole. And Admiral Byrd, which we also talked about, there's a lot of correlations between flat Earth and the hollow Earth theory. But Admiral Byrd, when he went down to Antarctica in his third and final expedition to Antarctica in 1947, he left the base camp and flew northward. And apparently he came across this hole, and he reported that these ships were flying out of the hole and then they started to attack him and the fleet. So there's a whole story behind that, and it's fascinating. And apparently he tried to come out and talk about this experience and did a little bit, and then the government like completely shut him down and like pretty much made it to where he couldn't talk about it anymore. Restricted him from going public and stuff.
So there can be UFOs in the center of the earth? Is that what
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people believe. You know, they see the spaceships or the UFOs, USOs flying in and out of the water. They believe that that's them coming and going from the inner Earth. You know, they go underwater because maybe there's another entrance somewhere underwater or several
Yeah,
throughout the
well, I
Earth.
mean, you got the Marianas Trench that hasn't
Yeah.
been examined and stuff like that. I mean, that's weird. I mean, it makes sense in a way for UFOs because you wonder, okay, where do they go? Because you never see them in outer space. You never hear of them, flying around the space station or whatever. Not that we're told, anyways.
Well, you see, and there's some videos and stuff of them in space, but it's definitely not as much as there is like around the water. I mean, you think of
Right,
the
right.
two or three famous ones right now that came out in 2017 of the Tic Tac and the Go Fast, and there's another one too. All those are around naval ships around
Wait,
water.
what Tic
And
Tac?
the
What
one,
flavor?
I believe it was the white mint one.
That's way
One that
better
kind of
than
tastes
that
chalky a
orange
little bit,
one. Ugh.
or peppermint.
Whoa, take yourself back, you
Yeah,
communists. The orange is the
yeah.
best.
Orange is the best. It's not really a breast saver; it's more of a candy, but they are delicious.
I agree.
You
I
call
agree.
me a
They are
communist.
delicious.
Yes, that's un-American not to like the orange one.
Right?
We have to do a poll on that to see if our listeners prefer the orange Tic Tac or not.
Orange or white?
Are there other colors? Green.
Tic Tacs? Yeah, there's like a plethora. They got purple,
No,
they
what-
got tropical.
What
There's
flavor
all
is
kinds
purple?
of flavors of
Grape?
Tic Tac. Grape,
Gross.
yeah, right. So they see the two of the three, I believe. I know one of them, but I think two of the three of those videos that came out in 2017 that the government said were in fact true UFOs, or what they're using now is UABs or UAPs, I believe, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Yeah. So they enter the water and then they're not seen coming back out of the water. Now it could be that they're going under the water and getting out of the range of the ships or the camera or whatever, and then flying out. Definitely possible, not arguing that. But it's also possible that they're going underwater and then continuing to go under. And, maybe that's another entrance. I mean, it was off the coast of San Diego, I believe, that two of the events took place. It could be there's an entrance down there that to get into the hollow earth. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like, I don't know. It makes sense that these ships aren't coming from light years away. They're right here under us, or and living. I don't say amongst us, but right, 500 miles below us.
Okay. How do they get sun?
They have their own sun.
No.
What do you mean no? That's what I was saying, is it could be the instead of having a magma core, it's a sun. So it's still doing the same thing for us, but it's also giving them the sun. But my defense to that is, and I'm sure you're getting ready to say this, Amanda, is how does it go down? What's it going over to go down?
I wasn't going to say that, but I was
Yeah.
going to say, what is it, 24 hours sun there?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
Gotta
was it
get up to
24
get
hours?
down. So,
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember from the movie if they talked about that, because I remember there being a sun. I remember when they flew in, I remember there was like this crazy gravitational shift where they had to like go from upside down to right side up, some crazy thing like that. And that's how the people before them crashed, is they couldn't figure it out or whatever. So I get that part. And that kind of makes sense, somewhat, that it's a gravitational shift because we're used to being forced to stick to the outside of the earth, and then you go inside, and then you're like kind of being pushed out. Does that make sense? You're going from being pushed in to being pushed out against the inside of the earth. Does that make sense? Did I explain that right?
No.
So if you think about it, the earth is round. If you believe in gravity, which has also never been proven, but if you believe in gravity,
how does it not been proven? You're
It hasn't.
standing. You're not floating.
That doesn't mean it's gravity.
What's keeping you on your butt?
My
Yeah,
weight.
well, just gravity.
Okay, how do you know what you weigh? Because gravity's.
How do I know what I?
Yeah, because gravity's pulling your fat ass to the floor. Gravity just got proven.
I disagree, but we're not prepared to debate this episode. I didn't do my research on that, so save that for another one. But it's in the scientific world, if you can't reproduce something, how can you prove it? They've never reproduced gravity. Never.
It's reproduced every time I stand up out of the bed.
Right. Every time I...
No, I'm saying reproduce it in a scientific environment is what I'm saying. Like they can't produce gravity in somewhere that gravity doesn't exist.
Like
physics, a lot of physics is theory, but a lot of physics has also been I'm forgetting my scientific words here, but it's also fact. There's science theory and then there's science fact.
So
gravity is science
theory. So what
theory,
you're saying is like,
not fact.
If we were in a world that didn't have gravity, we couldn't just like flip a switch and make gravity.
Right. When we went to the moon, we didn't have artificial gravity or give gravity to the astronauts. They kind of were just bouncing around there. If they actually did go to the moon, that's a whole nother story.
Oh my God, here we go. We're just opening a whole cans of worms.
I know. I knew that would set you off. I knew it.
We already did this. We know they went to the moon. We debunked that. But and there is a pull of gravity on the moon. Oh my Lord. Okay, so they haven't reproduced gravity in space, is what you're saying. And
at all.
Huh.
Yeah, they haven't. I mean, the guy. I think I'm so bad. I wish I had the guy's name, but the guy that did the whole Apple thing, it might have been Isaac Newton. Might just be pulling that name out of my ass.
Newton. Yeah, he was a sir.
Oh, I was right. Oh man, I get my gold star. So he did the whole.
Not for all the shit you're saying. No gravity and whatnot.
I didn't. Well, I don't know. I'm sure all our listeners look at us as I'm the conspiracy nut of the episode.
You're some kind of nut,
and that's fine. I'll take that.
Not really going to say they're wrong, honestly.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm not gonna dispute that. Especially out of the three of us, I'm definitely the conspiratorist of the group. However, it's just because I like to question everything. I think I was taught, as a kid, and you guys were too. I guess I just took it to the extreme. I question everything. It doesn't mean I believe it. It's just something like I like to think about it. I like to ponder it. Like, you know what? They haven't proven that is. So how do we know that's what it is? It could be another reason why that I'm sticking to the ground. It may not be gravity. Maybe it's something else.
You got me like questioning what is holding me down. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What's holding me down?
I'm not debating that it doesn't occur. I just don't know if it's gravity, meaning the Earth is pulling me to it. You know what I mean? To down is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. It's not something.
Maybe
I just don't see if that's how it is.
Maybe those aliens that live in the center of the Earth are putting magnets on the bottom, and it holds us down because we have iron in our blood.
No, because if that was
a great
the case,
show.
Aunt Margaret would be floating because she doesn't have any iron in her blood right now. Did I tell you that?
Well, that's disproven, debunked.
No,
oh, I was supposed to call and tell you that, Dave. Sorry, because she wanted me to tell you that. That's why she's nice. Okay, but
okay.
So I was right.
Yeah,
nailed it.
I just got my PhD right there.
I think that's an MD.
Done and
your gold star.
And my gold star.
Okay, but then you make a good point there though about magnets, because gravity is based on the magnetic pull of the Earth. Like our magnetic pull is what pulls us there. That's why we would weigh less on the moon or on Mars or Jupiter or whatever. It's all based on like a magnet.
Theoretically.
Yeah, I guess I do have a harder time saying you're right, Chris, because I've never been to Jupiter, so I don't know how much I actually weigh on Jupiter because I don't know what their gravitational pull is.
I'd love to go to the moon. From what I hear, I'm a lot lighter.
I could send you there.
Yeah.
To the moon, Alice, to the moon.
So, you see in all the science fiction movies where it's like in Star Trek, Star Wars, all those type movies where they have, turn the artificial gravity on in the spaceship so it's like a normal, like you're on Earth. You know, it's not like you're floating around like you see on the space station or
Yeah, it's
whatever.
where
If
they
that's even real.
they spin the station and it creates gravity.
I don't know.
Was I wrong?
I don't know. It sounds totally wrong, but we'll go with it. Anyway,
How does
I'll
it
go
sound?
with it. I believe you.
No, you don't. No, you don't. The whole look and the
That's
It's a
just
TV
that's
show.
just like. Well, that's what I was asking. Is that TV or is that real life
Well,
that you're talking about?
I don't know that they've done that in real life. I don't think they spin the space station up there. I think it's set on one axis. That way they can catch the sun and what have you. But it's in a movie, Interstellar. Is it it might be Interstellar. The Martian.
Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah,
just watched that the other day.
Yeah, and that's
the
just,
whole thing.
but that's not gravity. That's there's another name for that. It's where you spin you spin like a if you put a ball or something in a bottle and you spin it around, it hangs to the side and it stays in one spot. That's not gravity. There's another name for that, and if our listeners are probably shouting at the radio,
centrifugal force.
Centrifugal force, right? Yeah. So, but it's kind of doing the same thing, but it's not reproducing gravity. I'm talking about like the movies where they're literally like turn the gravity machine on or whatever they call it, the anti-gravity machine, and it makes it to where they're like walking around on Earth. Yeah. So there's a newer show on Amazon. It's got several seasons, so it's not that new, but it's called The Expanse. And instead of doing that, they kind of took it a different route. Then instead of having like an anti-gravity machine, everybody just had mag boots. So like they had shoes that were a little bit oversized from like regular like work boots. And they were able to like tap their heels together or something like Dorothy. And it would activate these magnets. So it allowed them to like walk around the spaceship normally like you would on Earth.
Basically. Well, there's a movie, a prison movie where they're sent to prison on like the moon or something like that.
Yes.
And they all have magnet boots. So if they start fighting, they flip a switch, the magnet boots stick them to the ground and the fight's over.
Right. And then also another one is the Super Mario Brothers. They had some kind of fancy boots like that too, but I don't know if they were magnets, but I remember them having fancy shoes in that movie. The old Super Mario or the Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one where they went to that other world and they were like the creepy creatures?
Lizard people? Yeah.
Wait, okay.
Real life stuff. They're lizard people.
That's okay. So let's talk about lizard people for a very hot second, although I know it will be its own episode. Do we think that lizard people come from Hollow Earth?
Definitely possible. I think that is a theory, is that the lizard people do come from inner Earth. There's several different theories of who lives in inner Earth. A lot of people say there's several different cultures that live down there, including the blue-eyed aliens that kind of look similar to us. And I'm terrible at remembering their name, and I should have had that ready to go. But yes,
lizard people,
blue-eyed aliens. I believe they call them Nordics.
Yeah.
Who are these?
Yeah, they call them
people?
Nordics. Yeah, Nordic aliens. So they're like a humanoid type alien. So they're a little bit taller, and they resemble like Nordic Scandinavians.
So you just
fair skin, blue eyes, blonde hair. They say they either come from inner Earth or the Pleiades system.
So you just called all our Nordic listeners aliens, and I want to know who lizard people are. I've never met a lizard person.
The Queen of England.
That you know of.
Is a lizard person?
Yes.
Elon Musk
is a lizard person.
Some people say Barack Obama.
No, he's just African.
I can see he's some sort of alien. Look how tall he is.
I'm kidding.
He's one of those tall, great people.
The other guy is there's several. What's the guy that owns Facebook or Meta or whatever?
Oh my God, Zuckerberg. He's just something.
Definitely an alien or a robot or something. But real quick, since we're on the topic.
Sorry. I was going to tell you about it. I saw this conference that I'm at right now. That's why I sound a little weird to our listeners. I'm at a conference, so I forgot my microphone. I was sitting minding my own business as I do, and I thought I saw a dog. And I look over, and it was an android little dog creature thing named Spot.
What?
It was like
a robot dog?
But it didn't have a head or anything, but it had 4 legs. It was
not right.
so
That's
disturbing, and people did not understand why I
nature.
was disturbed. Sorry to interrupt our normal conversation.
Where did you see this? I'm sorry.
At this conference
my
that I'm
attention
at
was
right
elsewhere.
now. Here, I'll try to find a picture of it.
Well, I mean, you're in Orlando, so it says a lot. I mean,
No, like he's
there's
like
a
in
lot of weird
attendance
stuff
of this
going on.
conference.
So he's just a regular guest like you
Yeah.
are?
A headless dog.
Yes. I will find a picture of it.
What kind of conference are you attending, Nana?
I'm somewhat concerned, actually.
Here,
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a picture of it. It is a learning and development conference for anyone wondering. So,
What is he hoping to learn? Or to, I mean, clearly he's trying to develop a head since he's walking around on four legs and can't really see where he's going.
it was so weird. And I was like so freaked out. I literally stopped talking to my manager and just stared at it. And my manager was like, that's the creepiest thing in the world. And then someone's like, that's Spot. Isn't it cute? And I was like, nope.
So he's pretty. I'm assuming he's a
I sent you a picture.
male dog. The dog. So he's well known. Then he's got a following. Then
Yeah.
he's a popular guy.
Is it a
It's
computer?
a robot. It's an AI robot.
So it does its own thing. Nobody's controlling
Not
this
one.
thing.
Nobody was around it. I mean, people were walking, but he just did his own thing.
See, they probably didn't give him a head because they're afraid he's going to run around and start biting people.
Oh, apparently you can like attach things to him, like a camera or
A head?
Well, yeah, well, a head be nice. That'd
a
be a good
gun.
start, I think.
A what?
Yeah, you can attach a gun.
I would not give a robot dog a gun.
Well, they're trying to come up with all these robots.
That's a bad idea.
To send overseas and what
Mhm.
have you to,
Did we
to
not
save
learn
these people's
anything
lives.
from Terminator? And that thing is freaky.
Right?
Terminator.
Not-
Look at what's the one with Will Smith?
Oh, iRobot.
It's like a spider.
iRobot.
Yes, it's like a spider, Chris. It was like a creepy spider
Oh.
meets dog.
Spider cricket. Spricket. Because it's got them retarded.
Yes!
Excuse me. I have to bleep that out. It has those crazy back legs.
It's like a spricket.
that remind me of Spricket, and I would have stomped on that thing. I'm telling you.
Could you imagine if this thing could jump? How high it's probably going to?
I bet you it can jump.
I'm sure.
Looking at those legs, I bet you it.
Ugh.
I want one.
I don't.
I
That's pretty
want
cool.
one. I think that thing's freaking awesome.
A little bit bigger, and that thing is going to take over the world. Especially if you can attach a gun to it.
I mean, clearly you can't cuddle with it. It's not a cuddleable type thing, but.
And we will definitely post this on our social media to share this madness because you guys gotta check this freaky thing out.
Share this madness.
Holy cow!
Oh, Dave, you can get one for $74,500.
Oh,
hello. Yes, this is my call to Elon Musk. Can I borrow roughly $80,000?
Yeah,
I need to get my cool looking robot.
Do you think
dog.
you insure it?
Throw in a Tesla and a sponsorship for the podcast while you're at it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not asking for much. Clearly,
you sent one into space,
right?
Yeah,
great.
you sent one into space. You can send one my way.
I mean, we'll all three take one if you want.
It only takes 6 to 8 weeks to be delivered. There are 100 of these things out in the world right now.
Amazon needs to get on that because they can shorten that time down to at least overnight.
if you have Prime,
Right.
If you have Prime, right?
Yeah, you gotta have Prime.
If you don't, 2 to 3 days.
That thing's gonna start delivering Amazon packages.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow! That'd be better than the drone thing because that failed miserably.
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
I mean, people like me would shoot the drone thing down. I'm just
you wouldn't shoot this robot.
Take off.
No, I want him. I think it's awesome looking.
Really? See,
I don't understand why you don't.
That's because you didn't grow up with sprickets.
It's okay. That legs. Yeah.
That's the northern thing, I'm assuming.
The Maryland
You've never
thing.
seen it. They're cave crickets.
They're what?
They're called cave crickets or we call them sprickets, but they're really cave crickets. Here, I'll show you. Oh god, these things freak me out, dude.
You have a lot of caves in Baltimore?
No,
Yeah,
they like cool dry places like garages and things, basements and things like that.
Is that like the cricket spider hybrid type thing?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Amanda showed me those. I couldn't live with those. They can
Look at this wicked thing, and we'll have to post. I'm making a note right now. We'll definitely post this on our page too.
The spricket or the video?
Both.
Oh, okay. Oh, sprickets are. Oh no! Stop, Chris.
Look at this wicked thing.
God. I have nightmares about spricket.
Me too, man.
We have those here.
Do you?
No.
Yeah, they're crickets.
No, those are sprickets, buddy. That's got too many legs and too big legs. Too many big legs for a cricket.
We use those for fishing bait.
Oh.
Those?
Well, okay, maybe not, because they have a longer middle leg, and I don't think that our crickets have the longer middle legs. But they look exactly like the crickets here.
No joke. These suckers get pretty big, like the size of your thumb big, A.
Yeah.
And B, can jump like the Dickens, buddy. Here's a quick story. I tried to kill one in my parents' garage years ago, and it was on the ground, right? And I went to stomp on it, and this sucker jumped and hit me in the lip.
You Yankees are so freaking cute. I can't stand it. Have you ever seen an oak spider?
Yes.
Let me show you an oak spider. Or what about I'm sure you have the palmetto bugs up there?
No, we don't have palmetto bugs.
Oh, come on.
There's your oak spider.
Yeah. There's
Oof. Do they get pretty big though?
Oh, there's a one of these oak spiders get as big as around as my hand.
Oh.
Like, on all honesty, as big around as my hand.
No.
No.
And
they'll stare you dead in the eyes and go, "What are you gonna do?" Oh, well, I'm gonna burn the house down, and you're gonna go with it. So how about that?
Yeah, I'd unload a 9mm in one of those things so fast.
And they're big enough to handle it. Those spiders are big enough to handle it. And they usually they're in like sheds and stuff like that down here that are under these oak trees. And when we go hunting, you'd sit on the dog box and you would see it at like the last second as you're going down like one of these closed in trails on the back of a dog box on the back of a pickup truck. And here comes the spider web, and the spider's just sitting there staring dead at you in the face, and you're like, well, one of us are going to meet our makers tonight.
Wow. So are they poisonous?
I'm not sure. I've never stopped and asked.
Because I'm just wondering, because I'll be honest, I have not too many fears. I'm not crazy about bugs, but I really don't do spiders. Snakes don't freak me out or anything like that.
Well, I take that from you. Snakes, I can't stand a snake.
I don't like them, but they don't get me like spiders do. And spiders they're too sneaky, man. They're way too sneaky. They're small, and some of them can kill you. And I don't like it.
Did you see that TikTok video of the cat catching a spider?
Sneaky little bastards.
Yeah, it was this cat. This guy had his cat catch a spider, and the other guy calls his wife. He's like, "Do it." So he calls his wife, and he's like, "Honey, remember when our daughter said she wanted a spider or wanted a cat? Get her two."
Oh my god!
I think I found it.
Man, I'm sure you might have got lucky, or you might have seen one of these during your time in Dubai.
The camel spiders. All right, you're ready for a great story?
Oh, no, sir.
Oh yeah.
Did you see what they did when they bit that hand?
Yep.
Yeah, look at it. This is wicked.
Yep.
Oh, so look how big they get. Look how big they get, dude.
And that person's just holding it like it's nothing.
That's crazy.
There's no freaking way.
I talked to these Marines that they said they would capture them like on their tours, and they would bring them home, and not home. I'm sorry. They would bring them back to the base, and they would like fight them, like cockfights basically.
Oh shit.
And have them fight each other.
That's freaking unreal. I was talking to, I have a Marine that I work with, and he said these things are just wicked. Mm-hmm. And he talks about the scorpions too over there. That's just unreal.
The scorpions weren't as bad.
They're just
like those didn't scare me as much, but the camel spiders, I've seen these in person. Oh no!
And see,
I'd poop my pants.
There's something about them, man, that I've never seen one in person, but there's something about them that I just feel like they're not like a regular spider. Like they're a mutant. They're kind of like the spricket. There's just something about them that they're not
Well, actually,
normal.
Maybe the fact that they're the size of that guy's palm,
Mhm.
just in the rear end, like the rear end of the spider is the size of that guy's palm.
Could you imagine like just out doing your thing or out sitting in the desert, doing whatever, and you look over your shoulder and one of these bastards is just chilling on your shoulder with these two things pointing at you?
Yeah,
They actually look like boobs with nipple tassels, don't they?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'd break my shoulder.
Well,
I would just destroy myself trying to get away from it.
I would, man.
When your Aunt Margaret was in Dubai, she wanted to do a sand angel. So I pulled over in the middle of the desert and just let her do her sand angel.
Hell no.
And then afterwards, she got up and said, by the way, there was like a camel spider by you and a snake, but I wasn't going to tell you.
No, come on.
God.
Just let her do
These
it.
people are just like,
I would have lost I just lost my mind. Just done.
So,
see, this is how I like to see them right here.
Dead. Well,
Yep.
so I think about
9mm Luger straight to the skull.
And so I know this is not real life, but I was recently at Universal Studios and we rode the Kong ride, which takes you into Middle Earth or Hollow Earth or whatever.
Is it the King Kong ride?
No,
oh my God, I love that.
It's not the old one that we went on as children. This is a new one.
That my brother peed on our uncle?
Yes. He listens to this, by the way, awesome. So he's going to be so pissed.
You would have thought it was me that peed on him because he has gotten me back 2-3 times over.
Our uncle, not Daniel.
Yes, our uncle.
I mean, he's got to pee on somebody because he got hosed down at Universal on the freaking King Kong ride by my brother.
He was so scared. I
great.
remember sitting. I think I was sitting with like your dad, Chris, and your mom, and you and I were like all the way in the back. And I remember that like Uncle Charlie, David, Daniel, I think your dad may have been in the front. And I remember Uncle Charlie being like, "God damn it, Daniel."
I don't know if I was in the front. I think I was in the second row.
Were you in the second row?
They were
definitely in the front.
I think so. But they were definitely in the front, and King Kong was coming at Daniel, and he just wet himself. He thought he was dead and gave Uncle Charlie the ride of his life.
Oh, man. And keep in mind, everybody, this is when we were like real young kids.
Like 17 at least.
No, it was before
we
that.
weren't. We were young. I think.
I was probably 10.
Yeah. Yeah, so that means Daniel and I were like 7 or 8.
I was 5 or 6 then. Or 7, so I don't know.
We were little. Yeah. No, so it's not that ride. It's a new one where you go like you're like a new recruit and you go on the ride and all of a sudden.
Is it based on the newer movie?
Yeah.
But not including Godzilla. But
no, Godzilla isn't it, but it's just King Kong is in it. But you're in his world and there's like dinosaurs and big scary creatures and bugs.
Well, you said it's down in Middle Earth, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in Hollow Earth.
Well, I mean, there you go.
It was fun.
And that's another thing that they say in Hollow Earth, that dinosaurs are still alive and doing well down there, and things tend to be bigger. It's kind of like not like overly bigger, but like the mushrooms that are palm sized here are like the size of Winnebago there. They're just oversized stuff. It really is a fascinating subject, that we could really dive deep on, like, and go into further, with specific stuff on it. Just in general, like, how do the Tibetan Buddhists, what do they believe Hollow Earth specifically is?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see that culture aspect of like what they think. It's interesting you mentioned like the Greeks, because with them believing in like in Olympia and the Titans, like all of that.
Right. And they believed So I'm pulling up the Tibetan diagram of the hollow earth. Can't really explain it because it's in another language, but
Wait, you don't read Tibetan?
Hey, back on the bug subject, could you imagine the size of the bugs in Hollow Earth if that's true? If the dinosaurs
Yeah.
are still alive, could you imagine the size of the spiders down there?
Ugh.
right, that's what I was getting to. Is they're probably like wicked.
God forbid that hole ever opens.
Well,
up.
like, okay, that makes sense because if we think about the size of the spiders in Australia and like
Mhm.
New Zealand, like, did these spiders migrate out and come to Australia?
Right.
Ugh.
So this is the Tibetan Buddhist idea of hollow earth, and see how it's extremely similar to that other diagram I showed of what they depict hollow earth is. We still have our outer core, but there's entrances to the hollow earth from basically the north and the south pole. It's I definitely think it's possible. It's just interesting to me how locked down that the world governments. I mean, you want to say that? I mean, all the governments that signed the Antarctic Treaty, and when they signed that, it wasn't that long after they Admiral Byrd had his Antarctic expedition. So it's almost like he went down, had his encounter in that third expedition, came back and told the government about it. The government told these other countries that signed this treaty and said, because there's no military weapons allowed or military bases allowed on Antarctica, or you have to have any country has to have special permission from this I don't want to say the UN because I don't think it's the UN, but it's basically this coalition of countries. They have to have permission to go into Antarctica. It's just and they're restricted once they get there. It's not like once you get there, they just, okay, you got permission. Here's your passport to go into Antarctica. Have fun. We'll see you when you get back. It's like they're very restricted of where they can go.
And there's got to be something huge down there if every country is abiding by this policy.
Right.
There's got to be something massive that would just, I guess, shake you to the core, if you will.
So when I was
Yeah.
considering coming back from Dubai, and I was like, well, if I don't get this job in Colorado, I'm not shitting you. I was like, if I don't get this job in Colorado, I'm going to sign up to go work in Antarctica for a year. And you can you
doing what?
There's so many things you can do. You can be like a truck driver where they teach you how to drive the.
So you were going to go be an ice road trucker.
Yeah. Or
that's some shit I would have paid to see.
You can work inside the facility and do accounting or all this different stuff, and they train you. And you just have to prove that you're in good health, because I think it's actually for 2 years, but for 13 months of that 2 years, you have no contact with the outside world, just the people on the base, because it's so cold.
Wow.
I want to be an ice road trucker now.
But it was it's so you get paid really well because you don't really spend your money because you can't go to Target.
Right. Yeah. And I wonder if it's tax free because you're not.
Right. I think it's not, because I think it's you work for American company.
Yeah.
But I don't know the answer to that.
Right.
Are these where they're saying it is?
I'm wondering if there's some hazard pay in that. I'm sure you probably get really good hazard pay.
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah. And you have to
So this is.
Sorry. No, you have to get your teeth checked, and you can't have any medical issues that could be. And this was when I was in wicked good health. When I did CrossFit.
You got to get your teeth checked?
Your teeth?
Because you can't, because if you have a cavity or something, there's no doctor to
No, I'm
They're
out.
pre-screening you for the aliens.
Probably.
Because you're going to get your butt probed once you get there.
Because I'm going to be taken
and
over
not going back to
by
Antarctica.
a lizard.
Done.
Yep. And they're gonna steal your sperm and make hybrid babies.
I'm pretty sure Amanda doesn't have sperm.
I don't have sperm.
That could be the reason why she's not having babies. I don't know.
Or for eggs.
My eggs. Well, they're a little old. I have geriatric eggs.
Scrambled eggs. So
scrambled eggs.
Yeah. So this is the entrance they say to the hollow Earth, like one of the depictions. I don't think it's that massive because I don't know how we can miss that. And this is basically like the
Well,
top of the Earth.
from what you've said, they don't allow anything to fly over it. Do we get
They don't.
satellite? Do we get satellite photos from Antarctica
No,
or anything?
it's blocked out. It's
Really?
not completely, but there's a big portion on the satellite that we can't. They don't allow us to see.
That's mind blowing. There's something down there.
Yeah, I truly believe there's something down there. So let me find. I saw one. So this is the main picture that people think's the entrance, and it's about 30 meters wide, and or 30 meters tall, and it says 90 meters wide, and it's kind of like a semicircle shape. And so that's like what a lot of people believe it is. And then there's a map of Antarctica right here that shows where the hole is. So it's roughly in the center of Antarctica, roughly. And this is where that's kind of showing you the where Admiral Byrd had his encounters, and compared to where some, I guess, missing scientists. I don't know what that's about. I have to look into that. But it shows you where the Davis station is. This is where majority of our research stations and stuff like that are on this bottom portion. I believe West Antarctica. And then I think there's another one over here where it says Davis Station on the right hand side, the east side of.
Are you saying Davis? Davis?
Yeah, unless I can't read.
Amanda, you got something to tell us?
Yeah. So my whole Antarctica story was a front for what's really going on. My dad actually went back to his people in the Hollow Earth, and
Nice.
yeah.
There it is.
I didn't want to know how to tell you all, but I'm actually a lizard person.
Chris, you just broke the news. You broke it wide open.
Like the whole Antarctica.
All right, so this is Admiral Byrd's kind of like the
Okay, every time you say Admiral Byrd, I think of Star Wars. What is it? Right?
Star Wars.
David? Am I thinking the right thing?
No, I just thought of a parrot being an admiral.
Oh.
No, isn't there
that's when you said Admiral Byrd, I was like, she is not going to go where I'm thinking. And then you're like, yeah, I'm thinking of like Star Wars. I'm like, oh, God,
am I thinking
God,
Admiral Akbar?
Probably, but all I'm thinking is like, there's a parrot that's a freaking admiral, and he's like, rah, we're going to Antarctica. Rah. I'm like, oh.
Well, to put some context to him, here's Admiral Byrd. Here, this is young Admiral Byrd, another young Admiral Byrd, and as he became a young strapping man, here he is here. So let me see. I'm pretty sure this is a thing. I believe it is, and we're gonna do it. We might get dinged, but it's worth a shot. Oh, we're not doing 20 minutes. Come on.
So why haven't these people who live in the Hollow Earth come up yet? Or why haven't these creatures
Well, we signed a treaty saying we won't go down there. There's probably a treaty with them saying if we don't encroach in your area, you don't come out and screw with us.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what I believe that whatever that race is, they were involved in a treaty, and they just, of course, didn't tell us that they signed the treaty, because I haven't seen who signed the treaty. The only way I know who signed it is going off of what they've told me.
You've only seen that.
Well, and I mean, you could see our treaty with all the nations saying, okay, we won't go to Antarctica, but you're not going to see the treaty between us and whatever race is down there.
But wait, we didn't say we won't go to Antarctica. Oh.
Could you guys hear that?
Right. That was almost as scary as David earlier.
Yeah, let's listen to that.
Yeah, it was loud. I think that really sounds like
a crazy person.
No, what's his name?
It sounds like
Alex
It does
Jones.
sound like
It almost
Alex
sounds like
Jones.
Alex Jones.
Yes, I was right by saying crazy.
I was
person.
thinking the guy that just passed away, the radio
Oh,
host that
Rush
just passed
Limbaugh.
away, Rush Limbaugh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Are those
could
not
be.
the same people?
Could be.
Rush
Who?
Limbaugh and Alex Jones.
No,
Oh, I thought they were lizards.
no. They think everybody else is. Alex Jones said that the government's turning the frogs gay or something, and that's what got him jammed up.
What?
You didn't hear that?
How are we not on that subject? That's
You didn't hear
breaking.
that?
That's breaking news. How are we not doing that?
Oh my gosh!
Wait.
The government's turning frogs gay?
You never heard that?
No!
I mean, I don't believe that.
Come on! That's breaking freaking news. That's something we should be reporting on.
You guys never heard that?
No.
What episode are you tuned into? Because I need to get that.
Oh man! So I just typed it in, and this is the first thing that popped. We'll come back to the video in a second, guys. We'll come
You
back.
typed
to
in gay frogs?
No. No.
Yeah, I'm kind of sure why that application hasn't been picked up.
So this is probably the clip.
If you're a new listener, just type in Pentagon tested gay bomb on Iraq. They didn't consider using it. They've used it on our troops. In Vietnam, they'd spray PCP on the troops, Jacob's Ladder. You think PCP, some horse tranquilizer, something? They got stuff that'll whack your brain permanently.
What the fuck
Brain
is he
chips for the
talking
troops.
about?
They give
I'm
the troops
sorry.
Special vaccines that are really nanotech that already re-engineer their brains.
A freaking
There is
gay
a
bomb?
gay bomb. Look it up for yourself. I mean, this is what they're... What do you think tap water is? It's a gay bomb, baby. And I'm not saying people didn't naturally have homosexual feelings. I'm not even getting into it. Quite frankly, I mean, give me a break. You think I'm like, shocked by it, so I'm up here bashing it because I don't like gay people? I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that?
This guy's the greatest guy I've ever heard in my life.
Sick of being social engineered. It's not funny.
You guys have
It's
never
not
heard
funny.
that.
What?
I can't breathe.
Gay tap
I
water?
literally can't breathe.
Are you kidding? That guy just said gay tap water. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm watching Alex Jones from now on. This guy
He's
might be
not
on
on much.
something.
No, Dave, I
He's not
don't
on
think he's
much anymore. You
supposed to be like funny. I think he thinks he's serious.
And that makes it even more comical.
To be honest, Amanda, yes and no. There is an element of comedy to it in a sense, but that was a real thing. And that's actually, I could be totally wrong with this, but around that time is when he was pretty much demonetized and banned and cut from social media and everything.
He just lost
else.
a ton of money
why.
because
He just
he said that the Sandy Hook didn't happen, right?
Yeah, it was also that too. Yeah, there was that too. He you could still catch him though. He comes on. He does have appearances on some podcasts like Tinfoil Hat, and he goes on Joe Rogan a lot. I almost want to say he might be a regular on Joe Rogan's podcast, the
we
Joe
get
Rogan
this guy on
Experience.
ours?
It's tough, but
Oh,
he's
God.
apparently a lot of people have said, and this is the God's honest truth, that yes, a lot of the stuff he says is out there, but then a lot of the stuff that he said has come true. Like it's been proven to be right. I mean, not everything, but a good
Right.
amount of it. So
He's not a Rush Limbaugh. Where Rush was talking truths and actualities.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, you can't prove a gay bomb or gay chemicals in the water or
Gay
frogs.
tap water.
he had actually that's a lie. It wasn't the gay turning the frogs gay thing, because that was 2015, and it was after Trump was elected that he was kind of like taking off everything. And I don't know, I don't want to misspeak, but I don't remember the whole story behind that, so I don't want to misspeak. But it was after Trump was elected, and I think it was something to do. I think you're right, man. It was something to do with Sandy Hook or something. So,
Gay frogs.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
how do
That just made my freaking night.
I don't think that's even possible
Um,
because frogs are amphibians and they are asexual because they can change their sex. We learned that from from Jurassic Park.
Right. And why do you think they would change their sex? Some male frog slides up behind another male frog and says, hey, how you doing? The second male frog goes, well, now I'm a girl.
Ugh,
Well, see,
tap water.
I think it was more like he was talking about them having the gay bomb or whatever that is. And then he said something, I don't know where the tap water came in, but he basically was saying that the tap water, there's stuff in the tap water that are, I guess, making people gay. I don't know, something crazy like that. And then he's jumping into like, well, the frogs swim in that water, so they're probably drinking it too, so they're becoming gay or something. So I think that's where he was going with it. But
if I owned an LGBTQ bar, I would name it Gay Bomb and I would sell tap water.
yes. And see, they say there's people that the issues that fluoride's been connected to a lot of mental illness. And they say that because of the high fluoride in
Well,
the tap waters.
There's a lot of stuff
issues.
that I'm sorry, Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off like that.
No, you're fine. You're
But
good.
there's a lot of stuff that we put in our bodies that we're not 100% sure what it does long term. They use fluoride to clean the waters and to make it, drinkable. What does that do long term?
I think they also use it as an additive for our teeth, but it's been connected to mind control. The Nazis were experimenting using fluoride as a mind control thing to kind of make people more willing to go along. Like it's not really.
Now David's not going to brush his teeth.
I did hear that. Well, I don't do that.
Well, you're not swallowing the toothpaste.
What? You're not?
No, you don't swallow toothpaste, do you?
Oh, crap.
That's 30 seconds on each quarter of your mouth, up and down. So 2 minutes total, and you spit.
I just basically eat it. I feel like it's great, right?
Spitting, no swallowing, and that.
Let me tell you, there's some people that eat that stuff. I see them daily, and that could account for a lot of what I look at. They should be using the kid toothpaste.
Yeah,
well, they should be doing a lot of things, but now I have to tell them what to do.
Wait.
And they still don't
do you count to 30 when you on one side?
So I've been using it, and it's fantastic for a good while now. I'm actually on my second one, but my first one I killed it.
The toothbrush that counts down, don't you?
The Quip.
Did it play a song?
The Quip. No, it just you turn it on, and then after 30 seconds it like pulses, so you switch sides. After 30 seconds it pulses, you switch sides. And then after all the way through, you do all your mouth. After 2 minutes, it turns off.
Do you not do your fronts?
Yeah, well, when you're doing it, you're doing this and this and this. So you're working, like you basically take your mouth and make it into force. And you're doing, for 30 seconds, you're doing this quarter, this 30 seconds.
So now you're telling me when I brush my teeth, I have to do freaking math.
Or get a Quip, and it does it for you.
Hey, Quip, shameless plug.
I tell you, yeah, because you know what? I'll be honest, and I have no trouble saying this. Until Quip, we had the worst time getting Emma to brush her teeth for 2 minutes. And ever since she got a Quip, because I have Quip for kids, ever since we got her a Quip, she brushes her teeth for 2 minutes and does it day and night now because it's a good time and it's pink.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know that I stand there for 2 minutes.
Probably not. Because it's a good while. I mean, I don't really notice it now, but when I first started using it, it was like, damn, this is a long ass time. I'm brushing my teeth forever. I feel like I'm gonna brush my damn gums off.
Right.
But it does make a difference, and it's nice because they do like a mail order service. So I think it's every 3 months. They charge, it's $5, and they send you a battery and a head for the toothbrush, and it's only $5 every 3 months.
Well, that'd be nice because I don't change out my loofah, right, Amanda?
Yeah, you got to do that.
Oh my gosh!
And every you can bump it up to like the $10 one, and they'll throw in some toothpaste. The toothpaste is okay. I just recently tried it. I think I'm gonna go back to just the heads, but the toothpaste is okay. They have all the like watermelon flavor or mint if you're into that. I use the mint myself, but it's good. I like it. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, don't come and say it. And for those, I don't think I mentioned this beginning, and I'm mad at myself that I didn't. But the Admiral Byrd expedition that's in question is called Operation High Jump. So if anybody wants to go on a deep rabbit hole, you can type into the Googles, or actually I prefer not Googles, like DuckDuckGo or some other search engine. Just type in Operation High Jump conspiracies, and that will and that, to me, I definitely want to do an episode completely devoted to Operation High Jump exclusively, because there's a huge story with that, how he encountered, a race of people, his ships were attacked, there's Nazi involvement there, saying that Nazis had a base there after World War II. It's a whole lot going on there. So I definitely want to jump into that. And I'd actually wouldn't mind doing that sometime near in the future. So definitely be on the lookout for that episode. But yeah, I this is kind of just the entry level. We're kind of doing these things, guys, to kind of give everybody a taste of what we want to do with this podcast. I think we're definitely, as it gets bigger, as we grow, we're gonna dive deeper into some of these topics, and we may revisit some topics and dive even deeper into them, or pick something specific. Like in this case, Hollow Earth, we'll pick, within Hollow Earth, we'll pick Operation High Jump and dive deeper into that specifically, because I think it definitely relishes an episode on its own. But definitely, if listeners have any ideas for episodes, or there's something more specific topic within some of the topics we've mentioned that you like to hear, I definitely love to hear from you. You can reach out to us, and we all would love to hear from you, not just me, Amanda, David too. It's the Waters Run Deep podcast at gmail.com. It's also in the episode details. Want to thank everyone for listening, as always. You guys have anything else? Are we wrapping this thing up?
I just want to talk for a little bit more about gay frogs. So what we're saying is that these frogs are we're not saying that.
Yeah, I was going to preface that.
Please
That's
correct
not
that.
us. That's
Not us.
definitely not us.
That is not anybody in the Waters Run Deep podcast is saying anything about that.
Like Chris said, we want to get started. We don't want to end tonight.
Right.
What a way to go out in our 10th episode. We end the 10th episode, a milestone episode, talking about amphibian sexual preferences.
Right. So you were saying on that topic, so frogs are, what do they call that? It's not hermaphrodite. It's something else.
Asexual.
Asexual. That's what it is. Yeah. So they're really asexual?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a, I don't think it's every frog, but I think there's like a certain species of frogs, if you will, that's asexual. And like Amanda said, Jurassic Park took that and ran with it, because they could make all the dinosaurs one sex or what have you. But the downfall to that was later on that they could change and breed. And that's how, like, one of the first two Jurassic Parks got out of control, was they started breeding and reproducing on their own.
Because they found eggs.
Okay.
Jurassic Park doesn't lie to you, man.
And there's a new one coming out, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm really excited. So according to the interwebs, frogs can be male, female, or intersex, which means they display traits of both sexes. And some frogs can experience sex reversal based on water contaminants, as well as weather and temperature.
She was right.
What?
She was right. My guy was right.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? They call him crazy, and a lot of his stuff turns out to be legit.
My guy was right. My guy said the fluoride, and there you have it.
And honestly, I've never met the man, but I've heard some other podcasters and people that I listen to that talk about him, and have heard him on their shows. And he's not the guy that we just saw in that video. That was a clip from InfoWars that we just listened to. And he's more down to earth than that. I feel like. I mean, he does have some wild stuff, but I think of a lot of it is like I said, a lot of it has been proven to actually come true. It wasn't necessarily true then, but it did end up being, being legit.
I don't think we have gay water, but the
No,
contaminants,
I don't buy that.
contaminants in water and stuff like that, I'm sure do affect the surrounding ecosystem. So
I think we do have contaminants in our water, no doubt, but I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a contaminant that would make somebody gay. I'm not saying that. I think some of this is funny.
Yeah, it's all comedy. Yeah. For sure.
So I'd like to end this episode with a thing called kissing frogs. So this is from howstuffworks.com, all about frogs. With the exception of Antarctica, frogs live on every continent of the world, and they appear in stories and fairy tales in a wide range of cultures. A common Western fairy tale is of a frog prince. A princess is dismissed that she will marry a frog. When she kisses him, he transforms into a handsome prince. This idea that frogs can change their forms comes from their natural metamorphosis from tadpoles to elegant hoppers. In some cultures, frogs also represent fertility, likely because of the noisy appearance a lot of frogs make during mating season, as well as the huge number of eggs some females can lay. At the same time, the warty, sometimes gruesome appearance of frogs may lead them to appear as a companion to witches and fairy tales and plays like Macbeth. And with that, I say good night.
That's fascinating. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in to this episode. It's been a good one. Please tell everybody about us. We're trying to get us out there. We're thinking of ways to kind of, let people know that we're here. We're trying to step our social media game up to get us out there and kind of, I feel like we got something to offer and we just need to let people know where it is. So tell like I say, every episode or almost every episode, tell your friends, your hairstylist, your barber, your mailman, tell everybody. Please, please, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you listen to your podcast. If you do, that'd be great. We'll send you out some stickers. If you left us a review and we haven't reached out to you, send us you all stickers. Send us an email, let me know, and we will definitely get them out to you. So that's it.
Tell your
Thank everyone.
Tell your Prince Frog and get him listening too. And
yeah.
And hey guys, happy 10th episode for all of us.
Yeah.
All of you that's been with us. Happy 10th episode.
Yeah. We're hopefully many more, and we plan on getting it out. Yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling. So until next time, even just
to hear ourselves. I was listening to our podcast the other day. Adam's like, "Are you listening to yourself?" And I was like, "Someone's gotta."
Yeah, I'm glad you are because I can't.
Yeah, I listen to it because I edit it, but yeah, it's yeah, I like it. I think it's good. I mean, we've said it before. I think we said it almost every episode that we started this because we did these discussions without recording it, and we just thought that it's other people would like to hear it, and the people that were hearing it that were bystanders while we were having the conversation were even saying that they could listen to us talk and love the conversations and where it led to. So we decided to share it, and I think
granted we're married or related to those people, but still.
Well, yeah, and not even that, but people laugh at it, and we're not doing anything that's super serious. So I mean, this gives you a break from the world, from the real world, and everything that's going on, and allows you to step back and actually think about different subjects that we bring forward.
Yeah, and like I said, I question everything, and I think everybody should question everything. I'm not saying that you gotta question it to the fact that you're making yourself crazy thinking about this stuff, but I think just pondering it and giving it some thought and giving it an educated thought on the what if. I don't a lot of conspiracy theorists, and this happens a lot in the conspiracy game, and I see it all the time, and I don't like it, is that they come up with a theory and they trace that theory back to kind of make it true. And really what you should do is look at the evidence and see where the evidence leads you to the conclusion. And then conspiracy theorists that tend to do it backwards, where they end at the conclusion of they're putting stuff in the water, turning frogs gay when they should really follow it first. Like, are they putting stuff in the water? Yes, they're putting stuff in the water. Well, what are they putting in the water? They're putting this in the water, and so on and so forth. And I think I think that's why a lot of conspiracy theorists kind of get a bad rap, But
well, I think
like
it's
I
not
said,
only with conspiracy theorists, but if more of us asked questions in the nation, maybe we would do something bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gay frogs.
All right, go frogs, go frogs. I want to thank everyone again, and until next time.
Bye. Ribbit.
Good night.
Ribbit.
We want to thank everyone again for tuning in to this week's episode of the Waters Run Deep podcast. Please join us next week as we dive into secret societies. So we talk about the many that are out there, some that we believe are true, that are actually running things, and some that are just a group of guys or gals that like to get together and do weird stuff. Please don't forget to rate and review on your podcast platform of choice. Helps us tremendously. It gets us out there. It gets us on the charts. The more we're on the charts, the more we're out there, the more listeners we have, and the better content we can bring you. If you have any ideas for any future episodes, please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at the Waters Run Deep podcast at gmail.com. Also, if you've left us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice, let us know. We'll be glad to send some stickers out to you. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you.